Dodgers, we're talking Giants, and Jeff Passan in particular, who is Major League Baseball's insider for ESPN.
So, okay, one thing that I think frustrates me, I consume a lot of other people in media. I consume a lot of other,
podcasts,
experts, if you will.
Sure.
Nothing bugs me more than when someone is in their field, whatever their field of expertise is, and they're either uninformed or they're being disingenuous or intellectually dishonest. For example, when people used to tell you, Jimmy Garoppolo's the number one quarterback in the NFL, just look at this, and this particular metric.
Yeah. Cherry picking is what we would call that. Yeah, stats.
It's intellectually dishonest.
Sure.
Right? At no point was Jimmy Garoppolo the best player in the NFL or the best quarterback or anything. That's ridiculous. I don't care what statistics you're going to throw at me. That's crazy talk,
yes.
right? When people used to tell me, Austin Slater's one of the most feared bats in Major League Baseball off the bench.
Left-handed.
Because these stats support it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mason Miller is very scared to face Austin Slater.
When I hear people talk about the NBA and they don't have true comprehension on how a trade works regarding lining up salaries or the salary cap or what you can and can't afford, and you cover the sport,
sure.
I'm ready to cross you off.
Right, because at least with fans, I'll give them a pass because the CBA and the tax bracket over in the NBA is so convoluted, what makes sense and what doesn't. I'll give them a pass. But if you cover the league, you should know. Yeah, and you're being dishonest if you're trying to get a fan base's hopes up when you know it won't happen.
Yes. Yeah. Now I get to Passan. Passan covers baseball. It's all he does.
Yeah.
All right? When you cover the game of baseball, and I've talked about this a lot, the media does a very bad job of understanding the financials in all these sports. He knew that the biggest issue in baseball, which is why we're going on this collision course to a lockout, is the finances of baseball have been broken for a while. It's not just how much players are paid. It's not how many years. It's not how many years it takes to get to free agency. It's a combination of lots of small details regarding finances on the player side and then on the ownership side. How do we divide the pie? How are we getting money into the pie? Who's getting the bulk of the pie? How do we divvy it up? How do we increase how big that pie is? How do we take our television rights, jump them all together, and then sell them so that we have more pie? These are all the questions that are bandied about. And if you just paid attention and did your job, Jeff Passan, everyone would have told you who was in the know what the Dodgers are doing, other teams cannot replicate. And I would always hear this thing, well, the team is worth X. And I would give you what examples, Joe? If your house is worth X, but you don't have that kind of income, just because you bought it at $100,000 and now it's worth $1 million, all right? You don't now have $900,000 in the bank. You need to either sell the asset, refinance, or find investors to buy in at the $1 million valuation.
Which is what we see a lot currently with the NFL. Jed York, obviously, 100%. Mark Davis, the Raiders, these teams that are not as financially, well off as some of these other owners have to sell off stakes of their team to have the influx of cash.
Exactly. Now, I was talking about Giants attendance last night.
Yeah.
All right.
Announced 27,000 on a Tuesday night.
That is a near homestand for the Sacramento A's.
Yeah.
That's one night. Yeah, on a Tuesday against the Reds.
Yeah, and I think their capacity is only 12 or 13,000.
Yeah, but there's not 12,000 people at those games.
Oh, hell no. No.
The Pirates would die to have 27,000 on a Friday night.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful ballpark.
Giants got it on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
When they're 20-some-odd games under.
Awful. And a bunch of no-names for the average fan.
Now, you'll hear things like, well, they have the money, they should be pouring it in. Now, same thing with Joe Lacob, because we've talked about this with Joe Lacob. It's got a pencil. I can only go into debt so deep to where I have got to make some of that money back. Just think about yourself. How many of us have bitten off more than we could chew regarding a remodel? A vehicle. some sort of vacation, right? At some point, you got to pay down your debt, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what do you end up doing? Filing for bankruptcy and having to sell that asset. So I thought it was intellectually dishonest from Jeff Passan time and time again to say that the Pirates could replicate what the Dodgers were doing. That is you're not even dealing in reality. You sound like an idiot. And then what you do is you get a lot of uninformed fans. It's not their fault. You get them all riled up and angry when the whole entire crux of your argument that anyone could do this is actually factually incorrect.
So Jeff Passan actually was responding to someone on Twitter that basically said exactly what you just said in a couple sentences. This guy's name was Vaughn Dawson, who replied to one of Jeff Passan's tweets when Jeff Passan put out yesterday a link to his YouTube page about everything you need to know about the investigation into Dodgers owner Mark Walter and Guggenheim, why it's happening, what involved, et cetera, et cetera.
Him admitting he was wrong.
So Vaughn Dawson replied, hey, you should at least acknowledge your own naivete in declaring that the Dodgers, quote unquote, cracked the system. That was the phrase that had most of us baseball Twitter roasting you. All you had to say was financial fraud does not equal cracking the system, but alas, your ego got in the way. And Jeff Passan replied, I'll give Jeff his, very well thought out response. And I want your response to it.
Yeah.
Jeff Passan, I have no evidence, and no other media member has reported any, that the Dodgers did anything that ran afoul of the CBA. Beyond that, the government is focused more on procedural questions, the mismarking of affiliated investments, and the web of companies under Guggenheim's umbrella, than anything specifically related to the Dodgers. You are well within your rights to assume whatever you want to assume. And if you want to suggest there was some kind of fraud that specifically impacted on-field performance, you do you. I'm not going to do that because I have no idea how the money they received from selling the debt on their television network, for example, was used. I wasn't being naive when I said the Dodgers cracked the system. They did. They recognize that the cash is a grand separator in terms of securing talent, and that the CBT, which is the collective bargaining, tax, right?
Yeah.
CBT thresholds should be no impediment. You know who else did? The Mets, and they stunk. Every billionaire has access to cash. Not as much as the Dodgers, certainly, but if they want to get more capital to invest in their team, they can. They choose not to, and that is well within their rights. But to suggest that because Mark Walter is under investigation for one business's tactics, that it automatically ties into another's with zero hard evidence showing that's the case, is simply a case of you fitting what you think you know to a conclusion you already made. What do you say to that?
I say to Jeff Passan that he's being purposefully putting his head in the sand, and he's just wrong. Again, their television deal is that the same type of deal when it comes to sharing their money as everyone else in the league?
No, he did say that the Dodgers have more cash than anyone. He said that in his response.
And they don't have to share their television deal in the same way that all the other teams do.
They do not. They have more money than everyone else. That is true. But other teams can get more cash if they wanted to, like selling off portions to other investors. If they wanted to do that.
Sure. But
they choose not to.
But Joe, getting back to the same conversation, okay? In the NFL, all right, the Jacksonville Jaguars can afford anyone they want.
Yes.
Because everyone shares every dollar.
Yeah, and there's a hard salary cap in the NFL. Yeah, well,
yes. It's a soft cap.
Well, actually, in fairness, no one even knows what it is.
Yeah,
the NFL, it's so convoluted.
Can the Jaguars afford any player on their team they want?
Yes, they can.
Right?
Shad Khan, absolutely.
The Pirates cannot afford every player on their team if they want.
Well,
at some point, they've got to be able to have revenue that is profitable.
Yeah.
All right? Every NFL team in baseball, every NFL team in football is crushing it.
Yes.
They're making money hand over fist.
Yes.
Look at the price for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, it's outrageous.
The Marlins are worth under $1 billion. There are MLS teams that are approaching what the value is on the Marlins.
Inter Miami, that is in the same market, might be worth more than them.
Why is that?
Well, there's a Lionel Messi attachment there, but they also have their own stadium too.
Everyone always diminishes operating costs and things like that. These are real expenses. You've got to have it pencil. So, and then I always hear this one. Oh, well, they cut a big check to the league, the Dodgers, because they do. They cut a big check and they hand it out to everyone. Did you get a stimulus check?
Yeah, didn't we all?
Yeah.
During the pandemic, you're talking about. Yeah.
What'd you end up buying with that stimulus check?
Diapers.
Yeah. Necessities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when the Pirates get a stimulus check, right, everyone's like, they're putting it in their pockets. Yeah, no, they're literally putting it back into their team. Now, maybe they're putting something in their pocket. You wouldn't own a business without turning a profit. I ask any one of you, how long would you run a business without turning a profit?
Not long.
How long would Odyssey run a business without turning a profit?
I'm not going to respond to that one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
I plead the fifth.
Look at America. I mean, look how things work, you guys.
But you get what he's saying, though, in that every billionaire does have access to cash, and if they want to get more, they can. They don't want to give up some of the percentage of their ownership, though.
Okay,
to
if
do
they
that,
want to get
right?
cash, okay, just to get cash. But like at some point, you still, just to get that cash, you still have to have revenue to match whatever your salaries are that you're paying for.
Sure.
So like in the NFL, for example, no matter what the Niners do right now, their payroll is around $300 million. They're getting a $600 million check at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
$600 million check. That covers the whole payroll.
Sure.
Yeah. Who's giving that to the Pirates?
No one.
Like, that's the problem.
But you know what? If you want more cash, whoever the owner is, the Pirates, you can get more if you want to.
No, that's
what he's saying.
Yeah, but that's intellectually dishonest.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Every billionaire has access to cash to get more.
At the end of the year, the Dodgers will get a $400 million check from Time Warner.
They have more money than everyone else. We understand that.
But they have a $400 million check.
Yeah, they have more money.
No one else has that.
Okay, but they can get more money if they want to.
Who?
Any of these owners can.
By selling what?
By selling portions of their team.
Okay, and so now you're giving up team control?
Yes.
Okay, so now you have more money.
Show that you care more.
But just because you took out a loan doesn't mean you have the money to then pay for future payroll. Just because you took out money, right, and took a loan, right, does that mean that you have money to then pay off all the loan and everything like that?
Well, no, someone's going to own a portion of the team to buy into that and give you the money, right, and give the team the money, right?
Yes,
10%,
and now you're
5%.
sharing profit with who?
With these new people coming in.
Correct?
Absolutely, and you got to take a sacrifice if you care about the franchise winning. That's why we see this in the NFL, don't we?
Joe, just because you get a chunk of cash and then go out and spend it doesn't mean you're making your money back. And it doesn't mean that you're automatically profitable.
It doesn't mean that, but if you want to have a winning product and have a continually winning product, which I would assume would help a lot of these markets and teams if you continue to win. But you don't think that the Pirates, would be looked at different if they've been winning the last 5, 6, 7 years?
The NFL is filled with two teams at the top of the market.
The NFL's just it's different, though.
Hear me out.
NFL's king.
The Jets make money every year.
Yes.
Tons of money.
Yeah.
What is it? They're still bad. You still have to be well run. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be successful. But in this sport, right, in baseball, it gives you a big competitive advantage. Last year, 7 of the 8 playoff teams had the highest payrolls in baseball. I mean, like...
No, that's a fact. That shows you spend... And it's going to equate to winning.
It
doesn't guarantee it. Look at the Mets, obviously. Yeah. They're the prime example of all this.
When you have multiple relievers and everybody going
down. Trust me, we've done the compare and contrast with the A's and the Giants forever when it comes to this stuff. I mean, the A's have skated by for some years in playoff years because of the money ball, and then there's that whole thing. But ultimately, they weren't able to secure the talent because they would cry poor, and we don't want to pay these guys. So,
you think it's a level playing field?
No, I think the Dodgers have more money.
No, it's not just have more money.
They do, though. This is what it comes. Yes.
No. Well,
they do.
It's not real, but.
Yeah, no. Well, that's what this is all coming down to.
Who has the most money in the NBA?
Who does?
Ballmer?
Ballmer, probably Microsoft. But again.
What's he won?
Well, but no one wants to go to the second apron in there.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what has he won?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Well, but they have a new stadium. They do have that. They're out of the Lakers' shadow in that regard. Sure. And they're over in Inglewood now.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Like, you caping up for the whole money
I'm not
aspect?
caping up for it. It's just I'm playing devil's advocate because
but if every player goes to one team, how is that fair? This is the same thing that happened with the Yankees in the early 2000s. It drove everyone nuts. It drove everyone crazy that A-Rod and Giambi, you're getting him and him. Oh my God!
You don't think the Dodgers are good for Major League Baseball? I actually think they've been great for Major League Baseball. I think they've been a great villain, and I think the Dynasty has been awesome for the league.
I don't think it's great.
I think Rob Manfred would agree on that.
I don't think it's great that Tariq Skubal went there. No, I don't. I don't think it's great that Kyle Tucker went there. No. It's one thing to be really good. It's one thing when it's like guaranteed every guy on the market who's available is going directly to you. That's not Like that's why Bama in college football was kind of boring after a while. Like, can someone else win this?
Right.
That's what made Clemson so much fun.
Well, now we're realizing too, like, and I don't know if Kalen DeBoer, I know he's never going to replicate what Nick Saban did there. Coaching matters too. College football, I think, compared to the NFL, compared to all these other ones, it's a little bit different. But now with NIL, that's changed the whole landscape of just paying more. If you have an exorbitant donor to your school, like what was Texas A&M, right? Or Texas Tech. It was one of those. I think it was Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Like
they had the most expensive defense in football.
Get a guy like paying, like giving like $50 million, like writing them a check. Here, go bring in, here's your NIL pool. Go get whoever you want, Texas Tech. And traditionally, they were never in the conversation with, top 10, top 8 school. They have a year occasionally, like a Crabtree with, with Mike Leach, but never. And now
Joe,
that's opened up the floodgate.
Joe, like to say that any team, like in this hypothetical, let's say somebody, the Pirates, let's just use them. What's their value? What do you think? Couple billion?
Couple bill, probably.
Okay,
do they own the ballpark?
Okay.
I'm assuming they do.
How much of this team should he be selling off to someone? I'm just curious.
I don't know. How much is it worth to you to do that? How much is winning important to you, owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates?
All right, so let's say it's $1 billion. I sell half my team. Let's go.
Can we do 49% so he still has the majority stake? Let's do that. Yeah, 49% of the
so
team.
$1 billion. I get a $1 billion influx. That's 3.5 years of revenue for the Dodgers. Right? Like, do you see how this?
But
like,
you could spread that out. Like, they just gave.
I understand that.
They just gave Connor Griffin $100 million for what? 8 years, 9 years, whatever it was.
Decision.
Smart. Yeah, very smart.
They can't do that for every single player on their roster.
The next guy, right, in this conversation will be Paul Skeens. Is going to have to get it broken off. Although, have you seen his numbers this year, Paul Skeens? I don't know what's going on with him. 3.79 ERA. Yikes. We got Aaron from San Rafael who's been very patient.
I want to land this real quick.
Before we get to Aaron from San Rafael,
just 1 second.
He's a special guest, by the way.
Okay, you brought up the $100 million, deal for Connor Griffin.
Yeah,
this is Glass now making $32 million. Tariq making $32 million. Shohei making $30 million. I don't even know if that's real or if that's deferred. $28 million for Blake Snell. $26 million for Mookie Betts. $23 million for Freddie Freeman, which is a deal. $20 million for Yamamoto.
Yeah,
and that's just the active roster. Edwin Diaz hasn't even pitched to them right now. He's making $18 million large.
Yeah, he stinks.
I mean, Joe.
Buster Posey dodged that bullet.
It's not just having one contract. I mean, it's over the top.
I know.
It's over the top.
All that being said, I do think they've been a net positive for the league. I do.
You could possibly be right. It's a big brand.
I know we like to. They're the evil empire. They're the Death Star. Like, I understand that. No, I understand all of that. At the end of the day, I'm going to look back and say, wow, man, them versus the Yankees, them going back to back, them trying to three-peat this year for the first time since the Yankees in the late 90s.
Love big brand dynasties, though.
But it's good for the sport. That's why. No, it is. Dynasties have always been good for the sport. The Chiefs have been good. The Patriots were good for the sport. The Lakers, the Celtics, the Heatles, the Warriors. We love a dynasty. Don't act like we don't.
Did you love Alabama?
Yes.
I don't think people.
I loved rooting for Alabama.
I think people got tired after a while.
No.
I do.
You want a villain to root against.
No, I thought it got real regional.
Did you love watching the Seattle Seahawks versus the Patriots this past year?
It got old watching the Alabama pretty quickly. I'm agreeing with Shasta.
Yeah, it got old quick. That's all. And I remember what it was like with the Bulls. You guys were too young. Everyone hated the Bulls.
No, people love Michael Jordan.
We loved the Bulls, and it was Homer. We were sick. We were like, please, John Stockton, win one.
People were sick of the Warriors, too.
People were dead sick of the Warriors.
Yeah, but they turned into villains. And they tuned in to watch them lose.
No one is dismissing you on that aspect. What I'm saying is this is over the top. This is grotesque.
I disagree. I think it's great. I would like them to continue to win.
Nick Kurtz should go there. Nick Kurtz, come on down.
He's well within his rights to do so.
Yeah, and that would you be happy?
No, that would suck. But he's within his rights to maximize his talent and skill set. If they're not going to pay him $300 million,
if this were any other sport, there'd be 10 other teams lining up to be able to pay him.
Yeah,
right?
The Giants should go after Nick Kurtz. They should.
I agree, but the amount of teams in baseball that can do it, that can actually do it, is fewer than everyone wants to admit. And that's the problem with Jeff Passan. Everyone can do it. No, they cannot.
888-957-9570 is the number. And our Red and Gold Summit is back for another year, September 3rd. That's going to be next Thursday live from Jack's Restaurant and Bar in Pleasant Hill. Willard and Dids from 2 to 6 and all the hosts from 4 to 6 getting you ready for another football season. And our very own Brian Baldinger will be there as well. Can't freaking wait for that. Food, drinks, and autographed merch you can win. Wow. Presented by Ashby Lumber and Humboldt Sawmill Redwood Products.
I mean, like, I think everyone got real tired of Red Sox Yankees real quick. I know I did.
Did you?
Yes.
I mean, the Red Sox, they had their early 2000s run, and then they were okay for a while, and then it took a while to get back to 2011, 2012.
I mean,
2013.
04, 07.
07, and then it was like a 6-year gap.
04, 07, 13, 18.
13, 18. There was gaps in between.
Yeah, but I got real tired of Yankees and
Did you get tired of the Spurs when they were doing their thing?
Yeah, but the Spurs were boring.
There were gaps in between.
No, I know. But what did most people think? The Spurs were boring.
But I love their brand of basketball.
But people thought Pistons Spurs was boring.
Oh, for sure. Because they weren't major markets, right?
Not every like dynastic run is equal.